Hello everyone, this is Reimu, and it's been a while since I posted a video. Mainly wanted to wait until the new commander skills have been released on live servers. So after I played some games, I've pretty much sorted out all the builds and hopefully try to help you guys out with figuring out what to use for carriers and possibly I don't want to say the best, but probably one of the more preferred ones, because there are a few that are pretty much trap skills and you don't want to take them at all. So hopefully this video helps you guys out. First one is going to be Hakuryu. Hakuryu, as you know, she mainly uses her torpedo bombers. She has the power of AP dive bombers, and apparently they have been fixed with this patch, so it's not a bad idea to invest them at all. As for the build, obviously you want to take air superiority, or sorry, air supremacy, mainly because of the 5% regen timer. The matches have been going a lot longer lately because of just how Battleships has gotten that new skill, the new skill Deadeye. So matches has been going a lot longer than 10 minutes for the most part. So taking this to invest in the mid game and late game, it's not a bad idea. Next, for the second, you want to take speed, improve the engines. This is a no-brainer even before the rework. So this is should always be considered. The next 6 points should be invested into both of the carrier planes defense survivability. These should both always be taken on every single carrier that you play. This is no ifs, ands, and buts. This is always going to be picked. And then for the next one in line, you can take either SS. I always struggle saying this word, SS, or you can invest into the new skill, proximity fuse. Generally, I would personally take the anti-torpedo negation, because for the the aiming time, you can always just start the attack run further away. But then again, you generally just want to pick these two together. And then after that, you can invest in either torpedo bomber, or you can invest in the repair specialist. These are both very good. Repair specialist, especially because it increases the action time, gives you an extra charge of heal as well, and this helps out you with your torpedo bomber survivability greatly. So might as well take up these two, and then for the last one, you can take up the engine boost, or you can take up last gasp, or the reload time for the engine cooling consumable. This is what you can possibly run. You don't have to take Swift Fish because your torpedoes are already fast enough. I generally wouldn't take bomber flight control because sure, it benefits the AP dive bombers, but I don't think the AP dive bombers are even worth investing, because they do their own thing. They do enough damage on their own. Fighter skills, you don't want to take them. Maybe in a clan battle specific build, you can possibly take that, but for the most part, we're only going to be looking at these three. There's the first two sections. We're not going to be focusing on the defensive fighter control. This is basically what's going to be it for the Haku. And we can move on to the next one, which is Midway. Now, Midway is a very flexible carrier, as we all know. She's able to do pretty much anything, strike anyone. So her build is going to be pretty much all over the place. You can pretty much build whatever you want, really. So first one, as always, air supremacy, engine boost, and then the staple build. This is always going to be a staple build for every single carrier that you play. Okay, so this is going to be the first 9 points, and then the next one, it can be either SS or PF. These two both work. I would personally take SS, and then you can start investing in the other skills. Proximity fuse is very good on her because she has 6 torpedoes, very high alpha damage, so might as well buff it even more. And then also you can invest in bomber flight control. Now this one, I personally take this because for my skill on Midway, my build, I go the dive bomber build, which is her legendary module. Increases the speed and damage of the dive bombers, also increasing the dive bomber HP. So this is basically a dive bomber build for her legendary module. Taking this is not a bad idea at all. You don't need to take demolition expert because she already has high fire chance. You don't, it's just you don't have to invest even more into it. Let me put the skills back in here. This is pretty much what I'll be running for the most part. You can possibly take the swift fish, but you didn't need this boost before, and now that these two skills exist now, might as well take them instead. Because for these utility, these are just quality of life skills, arming distance and then the torpedo speed. These are just quality of life. You don't need them. If you want to invest in them, you can. Something like this. It's just your choice, really. For me, I'll be running this for Midway. Now, FDR. FDR has a very specific build to it. And the only carrier you should ever take this skill on is going to be FDR. Mainly because as FDR, you're going to be eating a lot of flak left and right. With no doubt about it. It doesn't matter if you're one of the best carrier players, you're always going to eat flak because of just how slow the planes are. Alright, now this is basically a must pick as FDR for your planes to survive longer through the flak. So that they pretty much don't get one shot, but this should be picked. Definitely. This should be honestly the first 4-pointer you pick. Second one, it should be proximity fuse, which is going to be a staple for all carriers, in my opinion. I'll be including this in all my carrier builds. And the last 3 points, you can take side stabilization, or you can take swiftfish. The last 3 are for you to pick. So I'll just leave this out there. For me personally, maybe I gotta try it out even more. Gotta try out swiftfish with the recharge, or maybe just take site stabilization. I don't want to take demolition expert because she already has good fire chance with the bombers anyways. With site stabilization, you have a less time needed to aim your verticals down, so this is very helpful as well. This is pretty much going to be what I will be running. Maybe try out something like this too, but for now I'll be running site stabilization. MVR's build is pretty much going to be the same as usual. She does have access to the AP armaments, so a lot of people have been considering maybe take this, which increases the AP damage from rockets and from AP dive bombers. Before, it was a possible skill to pick, but after they nerfed it that down to 3% bonus damage, it's not worth taking for the 3 points at all. Might as well invest in some other skill, which are going to be these two. These two are going to be the pick here. Bomber speed and also torpedo damage. Torpedo damage, it helps against every target. It's not, it doesn't matter how low your torpedo damage is. This will always be, it'll always benefit you for every single carrier. And then the last 2 points, last 3 points, you can take something like, let's see, might as well take this one definitely because you have a heal on both torpedo bombers and the dive bombers. So this is very good pick. You get extra the action time and also an extra heal on both of them. This is very good. Last one, I would take last gas because I've always been running last gas, but even before the rework, just because of how aggressive I can make plays and try to keep my planes alive as well on the last squadron. So this is going to be the build for that. Now Audacious. Audacious. Okay, so Audacious is very it's pretty much gonna be the same build as Midway, similar build. If you run the staple build like this, and then running these two, always helpful because Audacious is apparently getting looked at by Wargaming. If you've been keeping up with the dev blogs, the Implacable and the Audacious have been getting buffs lately, so maybe should be getting more buffs in the future, don't know. But for right now, her bombers has gotten buffed, so this will be a good pick. You increase the speed, you can use them even more, and then of course the torpedo damage. Now you have three skill points remaining. Side stabilization you don't need ever. She already has very good arming distance. Torpedo speed, maybe if you want to try that, but because her arming distance is so low, I feel like you don't have to invest in torpedo speed as heavily in a skill. What I would personally go is Demolition Expert, because Audacious, like all the other Royal Navy carriers, they heavily rely on dot damage, just because the alpha is so bad on the weapons. Unless you're able to penetrate through the ship's armor that you're striking, you're not going to be doing that much alpha damage. Okay, so might as well take Demolition Expert and invest in such a thing. This is going to be pretty much what I'll be running for now, and while looking up the forums, talking to other players, trying out different builds and such, this is basically what I'll be running on my carriers, tier 10 wise. Tier 8 premiums, they're so specific and niche, I feel like they can literally run anything. You really don't have to worry too much about it. Like, you can use the build that I showed earlier for Audacious here, for let's say Indomitable, except dropping proximity fuse and just investing more into, like, you know, what else would you invest in? Maybe fighter skills or something. This, and then you have one remaining point, maybe this, or sorry, 2 remaining points. Indomitable, I don't know. See, like, for some niche stuff like that, it's pretty difficult to figure out what you want to use. Maybe this with last gas. I don't know really, but for tier 10 wise, this is what I'll be running for all my carriers. So if you guys enjoyed it, let me know. If you guys want to talk about it in the comments, feel free to. I always like discussions, and I'll be reading comments daily. Yeah, I hope you guys have been having a good one. Here's to 2021, and I'll see you guys in the next video.